Hello everyone, welcome to PAFR Sunday Division 1 for round 8 of Division 1. So it's going to be Hungary. We're racing around today, a 14 corner 4.3 kilometer circuit, and a very interesting circuit that can provide some good racing, a lot of DRS trains, so hopefully these guys can find it easy to pass and we can see some action. But to be joined by Labyrinth, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Been very excited actually for this track. A high downforce setup will probably be what the drivers will be using, just due to the fact that these corners here are just unforgiving.
Yeah, also a circuit really known for overheating tires very easily, so drivers are going to have to watch out for that as we're in the last round before the mid-season break. Going to have a week break halfway through the season. Certainly going to be feel like a month, some would say. But yeah, so Hungary, it's a very weird circuit. It's very open, but at the same time it's very tight. The person who wanted to build the track said, can we make this as similar to Monaco as possible? So that's why it's very tight. And yeah.
Yeah, and the fact that you mentioned the tyres overheating, it's definitely something that I've experienced in my time racing as well. Like tires would turn out to be quite hot coming around sort of lap 8, lap 11 pretty much. I'd be pretty much diving in for a new set of tyres essentially.
Yeah, obviously with that S section between turn 8 and turn 11, it just absolutely ruins the tires if you don't have the tire pressure at the right amount. So going through the last 180-degree corners, the two of them, they're just absolutely killing it. So hard to follow the car in front through there.
Yeah, and especially the final corner as well. Not really a corner you want to open flat out straight away. You want to sort of ease it as you're approaching the exit, pretty much.
Yeah, definitely, because a lot of the drivers will want to stay as close to the car in front and maybe push a little too hard. So we could see a couple crashes today on the exit of that corner.
Yeah, we could do.
Also up into turn 4, a very tight but also inviting corner. You know, you get a good run out of turn 2 and 3. Maybe try to go side by side, and going side by side through turn 4 never ends well.
No.
But we are here for qualifying. 18 minutes these drivers are going to have to prove their pace. We've got the favourites, Pantera and Felix, both in for today's race. Yeah, just gonna see who can come out on top. Obviously, an incident between Pantera and Felix last week, which saw Felix in the barrier in a wet British race. Looking at the standings, Pantera has a 62-point gap over Asim Kev, who's jumped to P2 after Felix not having scored a point in the last couple races. Neither has Pantera though. Missed that Austria round, and then with a penalty dropped outside the points in Britain. Charlie is in P3, also ahead of Felix, 1 point behind Keb. So see a big battle between the McLaren driver and the Red Bull. Both Aston Martins in 4th and 5th. Felix is ahead of Kavudi, his teammate. Kavudi, who has been racing pretty well sadly got a lap 1 DNF last week. He was pretty frustrated with that, but I'm sure he can bounce back around Hungary. He's very good around this circuit from my experience racing him. Then we have Havina in P6, Nux in P7, who's been pretty quiet. He's missed quite a few races. He is back from Britain, so he'll be racing again in that Alpine. We've got then Joyet, who's racing, I believe that's racing Upter in the Williams. He's not racing today. Isaac is in his spot. Maybe they're still trying to find a full-time driver in that Williams after the absence of Jays, who left the league pretty abruptly. So that Williams seat is open. These guys are gonna be trying to prove themselves, and we did see someone of Vincent last week who took away the win as a reserve in that Alfa Romeo. I don't believe he's racing today, but he'll be certainly one for that seat. Then we have Big Boy in P9, Andrea in P10, so that's cool guy. And that's your top 10 for the drivers, and we're about to get our first laps, and Nux has retired. He, on the exit of turn 3 going up into turn 4, he's collided with Kavudi. Kavudi has a 5-place grid penalty. So I wonder what happened there. Felix also retires, but that's coming out of the pit lane. And Panteras, it's a 14.5 banker. So
14.5 isn't actually too bad around here. That's actually pretty decently quick.
That's a very decent time, and considering Iron Apple sets a 1:17, and Cool Guy has also retired coming out the pits. Oh, these guys have qualifying bans. That's why.
Yeah,
I just remembered.
I think they have qualifying bans. So
yeah, it's just clicked once I saw Cool Guy retire. Yeah, Felix and Cool Guy both have qualifying bans, so that's not going to help Felix, especially around a track. Very hard to overtake. I know that from personal experience. On Thursday when I race, I had a qualifying ban myself. Had to start at the back. Luckily made 5 places into turn 1. But threw away a podium as per usual. So yeah, we've got Wolfie, someone who I haven't seen. He's put a 16.5, a second slower, and Gallardo puts a 16.1. Oh wait, that's 2 seconds actually. And Havina puts a 15.9. So in the AlphaTauri, he's doing really well there. Pantera, I don't know if he's really going to be challenged this qualifying session. There's no other names that really stick out that can put in a 14.5. Especially seeing a lot of these guys are doing 16s.
Yeah, I think probably the only 2 drivers that'd be close enough would be Adam Keb and Kavudi. That'd probably be the only close lines to Panteras.
I mean, Charlie, we never know.
Yeah, Charlie likes to normally do race pace in qualifying, but you never know, he might decide to change his mind and go for a qualifying pace.
Yeah, you never know. But we do have Adam Kev rounding the final couple corners. Going into turn 13 now, the first of the 180 degrees. Making sure you don't hit the curbs around Hungary, actually peels into the pits. For whatever reason, not finishing his lap there. But yeah, if you hit the curbs around here, especially these 180 degree high curbs, it just sends the car into a spin. So you want to avoid them at all costs. Get as close as you can without touching them.
Yeah.
We've got Wally in the Alfa Romeo down in 16th, yet to set lap time on those medium compound tyres. It's coming through turn 11 now. A 54.7, not a bad sector time for sector 2. Coming through turn 12 and now into turn 13. Hooking turn 13 up really nicely and into turn 14 now. Going a bit wide but brings it back for the exit. Gets some power very early. And this is 16.7, that's P6 for Wally there. Not a bad lap indeed on those medium compound of tyres.
No, it's actually a fast lap on medium tyres, actually.
Yeah, the highest of the medium runners, the others being Jeppy, 16.9, and Charlie, who has not set a competitive lap time of a 34.7. Expect him to go a lot faster than that if he comes out on softs. But I'm riding on board with Big Boy. He sets purple first sector. He is yet to set a lap time. He's down in P19 as of now. The yellow and blue helmet on the Mercedes driver. Number 85 coming through the second of the S's. Turn 10 and turn 11. A slight little lift for turn 11. Make sure you don't go wide and invalidates 54.2. So slightly beating Wally's time. This is going to be around a P4, maybe even a P3 if he can hook up these last couple corners. Dropping down to fourth gear before getting on the power very early, slightly missing the apex. And it's a 16.0, that is P3 for the Mercedes driver. That's very good lap time. And only a 10th off Havina, his closest rival as of now.
I actually think Big Boy is actually the first Mercedes driver that we've actually had close, pretty much just behind the front row so far this season, I think.
Yeah, both Mercedes drivers not really having the pace this season as of yet. We've have had some cameos from them. You know, Big Boy having a couple good results up near the mid top 10, so like P5, P6, and obviously Vit's amazing performance in France. But yeah. I believe they are one of the last teams, 27 points, down in P9 in the constructors, only Ferrari behind them. So yeah, Big Boy on 20 points. I came P9 last race. He's consistently in the points. He's always there in P10, P9, with a few P6s in Spain and Portugal. So he's pretty much always in the points. Yeah, just hoping to make sure that he can really get those top fives, those top threes. Just a podium on the board would do his confidence so much.
Yeah, it'd be nice to bring some silverware home to their garage. That's for certain.
Yeah. We've got Adam Kev rounding the final corner on his lap. What can he do in the Red Bull? It's a 15.2. That puts him ahead of Primetime Raz, who put himself P2 briefly before dropping down to P3. A very good lap time, and the first driver to come within a second of FaZe Pantera, showing the Haas's dominance and his raw pace around this track. And he goes for a spinnies. That's going to end his session. Adam Kev is out. Not even pushing on the exit of turn 3, just clipping the curb and going straight into the barrier there. He's going to be pretty frustrated with himself. And that adds to 4 retirements now.
And I think anyone that was probably doubting the curbs here, I think there's proof enough of what these curbs will do to the car if you go over them.
Yeah, they're deadly these are. But so one driver that is yet to set a lap time, that is Kavudi. He's on his outlap. He's let Charlie go. Charlie has just put in a 15.2, and he only needs 4,000s to beat Adam Kev. So I said he'd be up there. He's very close to Kev, and who the Red Bull driver who is out can't better his time. Charlie is a prime position to get onto that front row.
Yeah, I think we might actually see a pretty good battle between Charlie and Adam Kev.
Yeah, these guys, only 1 point separating them in the Drivers' Championship. The top 3 is how it stands in the Championship, Pantera, Kev and Charlie. So these guys definitely showing that they deserve to be there. Primetime Raz just backing up his teammate in the McLaren. Raz only has 5 points to his name. Those came in Britain, I believe, only.
Yeah, I think it was in Britain. I think. What did he place? He would have.
Yeah, he got a P8 in Britain.
Yeah.
And he got a P9 in Bahrain. So only the 2 points finishes for the McLaren driver. Definitely has pace. Maybe just getting a bit caught up in incidents. Just not helping his constructors or drivers championship hopes really. But so we have Kavudi yet to set a lap time. He's on a fast lap. It's 26.7 through the first sector. That is pretty competitive. That is faster than what I believe Havina and Big Boy were doing. So what can the Aston Martin driver do? Got his win in Austria. Sadly retired in Britain. He needs to carry that momentum that he had. And he invalidates with a very strong sector 2 time. So with 5 minutes left, he's gonna and he actually puts it in the wall.
A little bit of front wing came off.
Yeah, but that's all good. That will instantly get repaired. So he's gonna come in and prepare for his final run. That's very devastating for the Aston Martin driver.
About 4 minutes 40 left of qualifying, so hope the repairs will be quick and
yeah, there's enough time. You know, it's a very short track, only a mid 1 minute 15, 1 minute 16 is the average lap time. So he'll be back out in no time, and he'll definitely have a chance to improve that time, or get a time in fact. As we're just trying to find someone. Big Boy, is he on a lap? I think he might have just completed one. Well, I'm going to stay on board with him, just watch what can the Mercedes driver do. Can he put himself ahead of Wolfie? Can he go ahead of Havina, who's improved his time to a 15.5? Goes a 10th quicker in sector 1. It's looking pretty promising. That's Wally who goes P6 in the Alfa Romeo. His teammate also in the top 10. Both Alfa Romeos doing really well for themselves. And now the Mercedes Big Boy coming to the end of sector 2. How much will he be up on his lap time? Gets a little bit wayward. It's the exact same split through turn no, through sector 1 and sector 2, sorry. Rounding the final corner, barely hits the apex, but it seems to work for him. Coming up to the line, it's a 15.8. That's only good enough for P6. Is there a little bit more pace? We will never know. He will be starting on those tyres. He won't have enough time to come into the pit lane.
Nah, he's not much time.
Yeah, only 2 minutes 30. We do have our leader on a lap right now. Face Pantera. What will he be able to do? He's got a faster lap time.
Delato's taken a P2 off from Adam Kidd.
Very good lap time, almost breaking into the 14s there. But Pantera goes a bit quicker through sector 1, so he's looking very dangerous, and he spins! I would not be surprised if that has caused rear wing damage for our leader. I don't know if anyone's going to be able to compete though. That is a very competitive lap time, but that's not going to do his confidence any good. We have 5th place Primetime Raz on a lap in the McLaren. He was a little bit up in sector 1. Coming through the S's now. not hitting the curb in turn 9. He backs off, so maybe a bit of a mistake, and he's not going to carry on this lap. We've got Charlie also starting a lap time. The final minute is approaching for round 8. Pantera does retire, so that proves he is not going to continue. Charlie getting a very decent exit out of turn 2, and now through turn 3 up into sector 1. He's a 10th and a half up. He needs 2 tenths if he wants that front row. What can the McLaren driver do on fresh, soft compound tyres? Through turn 6, through turn 7, and now into turn 8 and 9. Hits the curve very nicely through turn 9, better than his teammate. He's not backing off. Now through turn 10, a little lift through turn 11, getting back on the power as early as possible. It's at 1.5 tenths. He needs another half a tenth if he wants this front row start. Gallardo is in the pits. He will not be able to improve. Jeppy has put himself P5 ahead of Primetime Raz, who's in the pits. What can Charlie do? Coming up to the line. It is good enough for P2 by 3 milliseconds. Very close between Gallardo and Charlie.
I think that might actually be the closest time we've had by anyone, I think.
Yeah, by this round at least, we have had a couple drivers on the same time before in earlier rounds, but this round certainly that is as close as it gets. That's nothing in terms of F1 cars. So Gallardo may be feeling a bit cheated right now. And Havina, as I was following him, seeing if he could get a better lap time, Jeppy, who's gone into the barrier, maybe distracted him, and Havina's end up in the barrier himself. Kavudi goes P4 in his one and only lap time. A 15-1 from the Aston Martin driver that puts him on the second row of the grid. He's going to be just behind Charlie. And that is it for qualifying, so if you can take us through the grid, and I'll be right back.
Currently wait for Charlie to cross the line. We'll see where our grid stands. So in P1 we have Face Pantera, P2 we have Charlie, P3 we have Gelato, P4 we have Kavudi, although he does have a position penalty. P5 we have Adam Kerr, P6 we have Gillespie, P7 we have Primetime Raz, P8 we have Kavina, P9 we have Wolfie, P10 we have Iron Apple, P11 we have Big Boy, P12 we have Wally, P13 we have Ash, P14 we have Freestyler, P15 we have Bert, and we'll just wait for the game to load and we'll carry on with the last 5 of our grid.
Hey, I'm back.
Welcome back.
Yeah, just had to pick up my dinner, so it's right in front of me right now. But yeah, I don't know if you went through it, but Kavudi is going to be starting P9.
Yeah. Yeah, he got in. He was a P4, which is a time he had, but with that collision, you know, that's a 5-place grid penalty. So
yeah, and whether
that drops him down to P9.
Whether that's his fault or not, maybe he feels a bit cheated. Kavudi actually says what happened was he didn't go, so I assumed he was around. And Knox has just gone into him. So maybe he's feeling like, yeah, he could deserve it, maybe a bit of a game, because ghosting should be on. But it didn't, so It's pretty unlucky for Nox, and pretty unlucky for Kavidi at the same time with receiving that grid drop.
Then again, I think it also, you know, at what point does the game ghost your car?
Yeah, I mean, maybe not like a set thing. Like, I mean, obviously it does have to be because it is coding. I'm actually gonna see here if it is on. Yeah, ghosting's on, so
Yeah.
it is just the game not ghosting the cars.
In P16 we have Maxi Rob, P17 we have Isaac, P18 we have Nux, P19 we have Cool Guy, and last but not least we have Felix in P20.
Yeah, so at least the two guys who were meant to be at the back are at the back, and with those people that sadly had to retire or retired in the wall before second lap time are just ahead of them, as it should be. So yeah, 35 laps. A very short circuit, a very fast circuit, but also a very tight one, so it's going to be very hard to follow.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping it's not the case, but it's looking very likely Pantera could just run away with this one. Felix being at the back of the grid, and Pantera is at the polar opposite. 5/10 was the gap between him and Charlie. So
Yeah, and this track doesn't really have much in terms of DRS overtaking zones, and we've just had 3 drivers get disqualified. They're going to be slightly colder tyres compared to everyone else.
all at the back though, so they'll all be out the way.
Yeah.
As you just wait for Felix to round the final corner and line up on the grid. And the lights are going to be starting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. And it's lights out and away we go. It's looking like a very even start at the front. Magnum and Gallardo getting jumped by quite a few drivers. Jeppy already up into P3. Adam Kev up his inside, so both Red Bulls doing well for themselves. And there's a collision. I did see a car go wide. That is Magnum Gallardo in the Alfa Romeo. He has spun. Most of the other drivers came through cleanly. Maybe a little bit of front wing damage for some of these guys. We'll find out in due course. But so Face Pantera gets away cleanly and is leading this race. Charlie and Jeppy follow from Kev, from Wally. And Maxi Rob is going down the order after going wide at turn 4. He's now in P19. So Iron Apple up into P6. Kavudi up into P7 from P9. Primetime Raz and Cool Guy P8 and 9. So Cool Guy already making 10 positions off that start. What a start from the Alpha Tauri. His teammate down in 11th, just sandwiching Vit, who's in 10th. Freestyler Felix already up into P13. Nux up into P14. Wolfie, Isaac, Big Boy, Ash, and Gallardo and Maxi Rob, the two drivers who end up spinning around some point at the back of the field. So Pantera has half a second to Charlie. And no one coming in apart from Maxi Rob for front wing damage. So that's a good sign. Iron Apple dropping a couple of positions there to Kavidi and Primetime Raz, maybe getting forced a little bit wide. and lose a further position to Cool Guy. They're going side by side. Pineapple keeps the position for now. Cool Guy will be hot on his tail, looking to make the most out of this start. He's on medium, so he's maybe doing the one stop onto hard. It's going to be one of the preferred strategies, the one stop.
Yeah, hard parts are definitely a compound that's pretty normal around this track. Just handles the temperature much better compared to what the mediums do.
Yeah, and if we see that, we've got a retirement of Ash. That is on track, and Big Boy is spun around as well at the back. So I'm going to see, is Ash's car going to be cleaned up before Maxi Rob gets to him? We'll find out. Ash has already left the session of 1:18.7 from Pantera. I'm going to see on Maxi Rob's POV what's happened. It seems, it's just cleared away. But it seems like he went maybe on the curb through out of turn 9 and clipping the barrier. Unless there was contact with another driver. A couple drivers in the pits already. Havina and Vit. Both around Ash's position, so maybe something happening there. Or Havina and Vit were very close together. P10 and P11 they were. So maybe they've collided. And the first time it's going to be down the main straight, they're going to get this. Can Charlie do anything against Pantera? Can he get close enough through this last sector? You want to be roughly within 4/10 if you want to make a move down that straight. It's very short, and you're not going to have really an opportunity into turn 2. So I'd assume Charlie is not going to get Pantera on this lap. In fact, he's out of DRS. So he didn't even get DRS for that matter. Someone who is got DRS and is going to be making a move is Cool Guy. He's up into P8. That's 11 positions off the start. Felix is up 10 into the points now. And Pineapple has just spun after being overtaken on the exit of turn 2. He's in the barrier, luckily not retired, but he is dropping down and down is into P16. And I'd assume even further once he makes a pit stop, because he's going to have front wing damage from that.
He does have front wing damage. He's got no wing at all.
Yeah, so. Oh. And Big Boy's retired. What? I'm going to see if I can quickly make it down to Iron Apple. He's...
Oh, wow.
That's definitely contact.
And we've got a full course safety car.
Yeah, so I wouldn't assume that's because of curbs. He has made contact with someone, and his 100% points scoring record comes to an end on lap 4 of the Hungarian Grand Prix. Already 2 retirements on track. Ash and Big Boy.
Who could have hit him though? What was it?
I know he was kind of near primetime res. We'll find out if anything is said in the chat. He is typing, so I assume he's going to explain what happened. If that is on the curb, that's pretty rare to especially be that far down the track. I'd expect him maybe right off the exit of turn 3. Like,
or maybe like went right onto the grass perhaps a little bit and then... Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but there's not much, because he collided at the front of that green and white barrier, so there's not really any grass to slip up on.
No.
Maybe he lost it over the bumps. Yeah, maybe he lost it over a little bit of bumps on the, maybe we went a bit wide. That's the only explanation other than contact. But so Cool Guy and Felix, who haven't pit, they're doing the one stop. They're ahead of Pantera.
don't think they'll hold on to the lead for very long.
Pantera is on fresh hards though, so he's going to the end. 30 laps on hards is going to be a stretch, but definitely possible.
Oh, on truly.
And these guys are going to have to see how much of a gap. Maybe get blessed by another safety car towards the middle of the Grand Prix. Switching onto those hards, they'll definitely go. They're not going to go for a two-stop starting on the mediums.
And it looks as though Isaac is coming
into the pits. Maybe a lap too late. Maybe it's due to Iron Apple, but his teammate also in the pits. So this is a scheduled stop for Isaac. There's no front wing change, but Iron Apple. Wonder why he is in. Oh, I believe he's got a drive-through penalty. He had a drive-through penalty, and maybe he's tried to serve it under safety car conditions.
Yeah.
Rookie mistake there. He's gonna have to, one, serve that drive-through, and two, make another pit stop because those mediums are not gonna go to the end.
Right.
Oh, very frustrating for the Filipino. So he's gonna come at the back of the grid. But Cool Guy is going to be leading us off. The safety car is going to come in this lap. So Cool Guy and Felix are both on tyres that have gone from the start. They will not have the fresh advantage. And they'll have to make another pit stop. So how much of a gap can they make to Pantera, Charlie, Jeppy, and pretty much everyone behind them that is on the hard compound tires? When is Cool Guy gonna go? Seems like just on the exit of turn 14 he goes. Everyone stays with him. A bit of a gap between the two Hasses. Felix is gonna have a good run into turn 1. Is he going to make the dive? He's going around the outside. He holds it around the outside. Now into the run to turn 2. He's going to have the inside. Is he going to keep this? Isaac has retired in the pit lane. And Felix still side by side with Cool Guy. Up into turn 4. Cool Guy is going to have to back off. And that is a very good move from the Aston Martin veteran.
Well, I was wondering who was going to back off.
Yeah, so if they had gone side by side, I wonder what would have happened. Could have been a third DNF for Felix, but it's okay. Everyone is safe. And
I think it is possible to go too wide through turn 4, but
it just loses so much time.
Yeah. Got to be willing to sacrifice the time in order to,
yeah, and just to get through safely. But they're not going to want that. They need the gap to Pantera behind. So Felix in fresh air was going to be able to carry a gap big enough to maybe slot between Pantera and Wally when he comes into the pits. Is he going to be able to chase down Pantera once he does make that pit stop? Or is Pantera going to win this race?
Yeah, it sort of wonders if Freestyle is just sort of towing Pantera along.
Yeah, he's got a big support role in the Haas there, making sure that Pantera stays within DRS, stays within Freestyler. And Freestyler making sure he can stay with that pack in front.
Yeah.
Iron Apple also retires, but Magnum Gallardo goes for another spin at the back. Felix already has a second gap to Cool Guy. So this is just going to be a little bit of a train backing up behind Cool Guy now. Felix is going to have the pace to carry on. This is where it starts. Can Felix pull out a gap before he needs to pit? He's going to have to chase down Pantera. Is something else going to happen that prevents both of those events occurring? It's still early days, very early days. Cool Guy and Jeppy going side by side through turn 2. Cool Guy, is he going to lose 2 positions in 2 laps? Jeppy takes the position. Cool Guy is going to be very frustrated with himself. But this battling is just going to allow Felix to get away.
Yeah.
As DRS is going to be enabled, so Cool Guy is going to get the run on Jeppy if he can stay close enough.
Felix is like already nearly 2 seconds ahead of the whole pack, essentially.
Yeah, and these guys, if they just battle so much, Jeppy still needs to make another pit stop, so he is going to have to chase down Felix. They're on the same strategy as of right now. Yeah, there's not much they can do in Pantera. Is only going to have to sit and watch for now, unless he can get past his teammate. Is he going to take matters into his own hands? Is going to make his way through this field and catch down Felix before he makes his pit stop. About 4 seconds is the gap there. 3.2 between the Haas and the Aston Martin. Cool Guy gets a penalty, yeah. 3 seconds for multiple warnings. Not
very easy to get that though. Yeah, ooh.
Yeah, but even then, it's not that rare for Cool Guy to pick up a couple of 3-second penalties. Kavudi also gets a 3-second penalty. He's down in P9, so he's dropped to his starting position. And it's not looking like the weekend he wanted so far.
Currently watching the battle between Plato and Freestyle from Charlie's point of view at the moment.
Yeah, both whitish and red cars battling, both Ferrari powered.
Oh, and
is that Pantera?
I think it was. Yes.
Pantera has spun. I don't think he's got damage. It doesn't look like it from this helicopter shot. And Vit also DNFs. And that is a virtual safety car. So is this going to be a blessing for Felix and Cool Guy? Can they pit and not lose that much time? Will Pantera have to come in and change his wing? Because we know in this game that sometimes the visuals aren't the full story. And with a track like Hungary, you want to make sure you have a mint front wing. So it's just the question, is Felix and Cool Guy going to react to this? Are they going to make sure that they don't lose as much time as possible under safety car conditions? Is Jeppy also going to pit? He has already pit once, but he does need to make another one. It doesn't seem like Felix is going to. Just Cool Guy is just going to follow him. I believe that's the right call from Cool Guy and Felix. I mean, you never know. In the driver's seat, maybe I would have taken a gamble. If I would have known Pantera had spun, I definitely would have. But maybe these guys don't.
Yeah, I would have stayed out. You know, VSCs are very uncertain how long they last.
Yeah, as it ends just now.
Yeah. compared to a normal full course safety car, you know, normally lasts 3 to 5 laps, depending on how bad it was. The VSC could, you know, last a fifth of a lap or a lap and a half.
Yeah, so Wally actually gets past Freestyler on the restart. He's up into P4 now. And the only person behind, Charlie, who's on the hards, he's going to the end, so he's now in the prime position with Pantera behind him. Not by much, and with the pace advantage Pantera has, he's now going to have to chase down Charlie, who's on the same strategy. Probably going to the end.
Plus that spin that Pantera has suffered as well, that'll have worn down the tyres, it would have heated up the tyres.
Yeah, maybe having to make a late stop onto softs towards the end because of it. You know, 30 laps is already a long distance.
Yeah. Especially to take a set of tyres.
Yeah. And Adam Kev is round. He was ahead of Kavudi. I'd look back as Charlie was getting past Freestyler, and I just saw Adam Kev lose the back end. I don't know if there's a little friendly nudge between him and Kavudi, but he is round, and he is now out of the points. So you have 5 DNFs already. Both Mercedes, both Williams, and Ash. And up the front, Jeppy has stayed within Felix. He's within a second now. Does he have the pace on fresh mediums to get past Felix? Cool Guy behind, 3.5 seconds. So Cool Guy really struggling on those old medium compound tires. Jeppy with DRS, both down both straights. He's not going to make it into turn 1. He's going to be close enough out of turn 1 down into turn 2. Felix gets the X, and I think that's going to stay the way it is for now. Wally and Cool Guy are going side by side down into turn 2. Cool Guy's lost yet another position, so really struggling on those tires.
Although Cool Guy is up by 15 positions from when he started, but he's definitely struggling on the tyres. Who knows, maybe he might be considering maybe coming in this stop.
Oh yeah, maybe making an early pit stop than planned, but Charlie's going to be next to Hunt down the AlphaTauri. The first of the drivers going to the end, or at least what they plan to go to the end. He needs to make this move as quick as possible, build out that gap to Pantera. Because the sooner he can get past these guys,
Pantera is definitely the real threat here to Charlie's potential podium, if he's lucky enough.
Yeah, Pantera not able to stay within DRS of Freestyler. Freestyler isn't exactly able to back off to help his teammate out, as he will lose DRS to Charlie. But Charlie just sitting behind Cool Guy and Wally right now. As long as Cool Guy can stay in the DRS, I don't think there's much Charlie can do. And this will just cause everyone to back up into these guys. So 15 laps gone. 20 laps remaining. And Kev has retired out of turn 4, and that's caused a full car safety car. So that's going to allow Felix, Cool Guy, Wally, Jeppy, Freestyler, and really every medium driver to come in for hards. It is going to mean Charlie will take the lead if these guys do pit.
Felix is coming in.
So is Jeppy and Wally. Cool Guy is going to be coming in, so Charlie will take the lead. is going to mean there is no car between Pantera and Charlie. And these,
and Pantera's still out. Wolf is in. Avina's in.
yeah, literally every medium runner is coming in. So Felix, who's going to come out in P3 behind Pantera and Charlie, is going to be on fresh hards.
Yeah, Primetime Reds is coming in as well, but he's on hard tyres.
Who knows? Wally is on the mediums, so is Wolfie, Havina, and Kavuda, so maybe they're thinking the mediums can go to the end. I mean, if you can stretch them 20 laps, maybe.
Oh,
I think that's just a bit of desync.
Yeah,
I just had the same reaction. Don't you worry.
But
I mean,
yeah,
what? No, you go on.
hard taking medium tyres, especially here, right? Right, medium's only really good for 12 laps. Here in
Yeah,
Hungary.
something like that. Yeah, especially around a 50% race.
Yeah.
But the main story, Felix, just behind Pantera and Charlie, on 10 lap fresher tyres. Felix, who hasn't been able to really show his pace through qualifying, and probably not through the race as of yet, on the same strategy as the people in front, going to the end. We've got 6 retirements. So not many cars to get in the way of these guys. As we're going to wait for the back markers to close up, we're just going to wait for Gallardo. Going to go for another lap. Will Felix finally be able to take advantage of Pantera and Charlie both on older tyres? He hasn't been able to do that much this season. His absence in Austria from Pantera, Felix put it in the barrier on his own. Then in Britain, incident with Pantera causing a DNF. Will Felix be able to close in the gap as much as possible going into the break?
There's not much races left after this one.
Yeah, after this one, half of the races are gone. So, I mean, at the same time, it is an opportunity for the exact same thing, the exact same points to happen, just in a reverse order, so you never know.
Yeah.
But you never know. Felix, who's down by almost 30 points in the championship, he's not going to be happy with that, if that's the gap still going into the break. The safety car is in this lap, so we'll be getting on the way for the start of lap 18. Charlie's going to lead us away. How fresh are those tyres on Felix? Are they going to help him enough to get past his main rival Pantera, another rival of Charlie in the championship?
And it seems as if Charlie's wanting to back the field up as much as possible, it seems.
Yeah, and I believe he's going to go right towards the line. Yeah, he's not. He's going now. Pantera hasn't exactly caught on, and Felix is going to see if he can get past everyone within slipstream. Felix looking for the move. The gap was open. He didn't brake late enough to get past his Haas counterpart. Goes a bit deep into turn 2. He's not going to help us exit through turn 3. And up into turn 4. He's not trying to overtake there. Very smart. But he's getting very close. And how close is he going to get through this middle sector where these tyres are going to matter the most? Into turn 6 and 7. Is he going to be able to get a good exit?
Yeah.
This is all he needs really is a good exit out of turn 14 to give himself the best run down the main straight. If he's able to do that, he'll be able to have a very good chance at passing this Haas.
It looks as though he's actually Felix is losing time. Pantera.
Yeah, 6/10 is the gap. Maybe not pushing too hard. He is using ERS to stay with him, so maybe the pace isn't there. Pantera, who's very well known for battery saving. If we remember back to France, round 5, he had pretty much max battery. Felix was down at 10% for most of that race, and it's what got Pantera the win. Is Felix gonna do the reverse here, or is it gonna be the same thing? And there's a big collision behind, involving Nux and Cavudi. Not the first time down that straight that these two have collided. It's resulted in the reverse outcome, with Cavudi now out and Nux is carrying on. There's a virtual safety car, but that's added to now 7 drivers out of the race.
And I don't know, we're sort of halfway through the race, and it's sort of, yeah, just 7 drivers out halfway through is just not a good thing to see, really.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully that can settle down soon as everyone gets into a rhythm. Safety car has come in. Felix looking a lot closer. Charlie, a big back end loss there at the front. DRS is enabled because it was only a virtual, so it doesn't really affect anything to do with that. Is Felix going to be able to be close enough to get a run down the main straight in a lap's time? Is Pantera going to have the run on Charlie instead? Is Pantera going to be able to put a car between Felix and Charlie? If he can, that's going to mean everything for Pantera and his race. 15 and a half laps remaining. A little back end loss from Pantera going into the chicane. This is going to cause him to be vulnerable. He's going to stay within that DRS of Charlie. Is Felix going to have a clear shot at getting past? It is fluctuating, him going in and out of DRS. Felix very close, so Pantera may be struggling as his tyres are getting a bit old. 14 laps. They are. If Felix can stay just a bit close through this last corner, can he get a good exit? He's going to have DRS, but so is Pantera. He has stayed within a second. Charles is fast lap of the Grand Prix, a 1:18.6, and Felix is not going to have a chance at Pantera. Maybe not pushing, he knows Pantera has DRS, so he's not trying to make an overtake too much. But then again, he can't sit off and wait for Charlie to be overtaken, because he might not be able to get past Charlie and might get held up.
Yeah, Felix and Pantera, they have similar ERS levels, so I don't know if it's going to be a repeat of France, maybe.
Just with an added equation of Charlie.
Yeah. Maybe that's what Felix is probably trying to do, because we remember back to that Grand Prix, Pantera was right behind Felix so that whole time, just making him waste his ERS, essentially, just trying to defend him. And he was pretty much sort of that distance away, half a second roughly.
I mean, if Charlie comes out of the equation as just a fluctuating of fastest laps there, Wally holds it currently with an 18.5. So Felix, if Charlie can get out of the way and of both these drivers, whether that's pulling out the second gap, which seems less likely now, or just getting overtaken by them both. It's going to be a clear run for these guys, and if Felix can stay within DRS, make Pantera use DRS, it could be a complete reverse of France.
I actually think Felix is actually counting on Charlie holding up Pantera as long as he can, actually. So I think that's actually the one thing that's keeping Pantera and Felix so close together.
Yeah, maybe. But then again, Charlie could be helping Pantera save ERS, save his tires a little bit with the DRS, not having to push as much to keep Felix behind. So Felix really is in a not a, I would say, strong position, but neither is Pantera. They're both having to react off each other and the cars around them rather than having it just on what they can do themselves. So it's going to be very interesting as we're heading into the closing stages of the race. Wally gets past Jeppy there around the outside of turn 1. On those medium tyres, he's hoping to stretch them to the end. He's not got much ERS to defend if he needs to, but he's up into P4. Felix going a bit wide through turn 4. And Wally has actually put it in the barrier after getting past. He's put it into the wall after a slight back end loss. I don't know if he's got front wing damage. He's seeming to be a little bit slow.
He doesn't appear to have front wing damage.
Yeah, but then again, he's not looking entirely fast, so he might have to come into the pits. That means Jeppy is not going to have DRS. Both these guys are going to be holding each other up at the front. He will maybe become an added equation, or an added factor into this equation. Could he cause trouble to Felix?
As Whale actually does come into the pits, so maybe he does have wing damage there.
Yeah, if you could keep up to that.
Yeah, well, starting on board and look. It does appear the wing is being changed.
Yeah, so it did seem like he did get front wing damage.
Yeah, and he's gone on to soft tyres.
They could make it to the end if you're careful enough.
Yeah, it's 11 laps to the end. But I don't know.
I mean, he's not exactly in any fight now.
No, he's out of the fight. But at least, you know, he's still wanting to carry on. So kudos to him for that.
Yeah, a lot of drivers would have maybe retired with the gap so big, but maybe he's banking on a late safety car.
Yeah, it could be. But even if there is a late safety car, the tyres won't have much left in them.
So Pantera sets the fast lap of the Grand Prix, and he's getting a run onto Charlie. He's going up the inside into turn 1. He's slightly alongside. Charlie gets a better exit out of turn 1 and into turn 2. He's not going to have the run. Goes a bit wide, and that's going to let Felix maybe have a go. It was a bit too late. Felix cannot make anything of it as of yet. But those tyres do seem to be struggling. 20 laps old. Those hards are on the Haas and McLaren. Maybe this, as soon as those hards start to drop off, that's when Felix is going to be able to strike.
Yeah, because Felix's tyres are much fresher compared to Pantera's, so maybe that's also what Felix is counting on. He's just waiting for the hard tyres off Pantera's to drop off.
Before his own do.
Yeah.
In that case, he's going to have to get it done within the next 10 laps, because this is when we're seeing the real pace drop off from these guys in front. Heading on to lap 26, so 10 laps to go as soon as they cross that line. Is Pantera gonna make the move this time? He seems a lot closer. He's in the DRS, he's in the ERS, he's in the slipstream. He pulls out and he's going down the inside. He parks the bus. And they've crashed!
Oh.
They've crashed! Charlie and Pantera lock wheels, and Pantera has gone straight into the barrier. That is gonna cause... Is that not gonna cause a safety car? Or nevertheless... yeah, Cool Guy's also out in the AFTR. There's no way that wasn't a safety car in the end. Our third one today, but Charlie and Felix, Charlie and Pantera coming together out of turn 1. And that's going to mean our championship leader doesn't score points for 3 races in a row.
What just happened?
Beats me. Pantera does have enough of a gap though to stay ahead of Charlie in the championship, but he's not going to be happy whatsoever.
No, the fight was over pretty much between him and Charlie once he had got out in front.
Yeah, Charlie just blames it on connection, but people are going to come into the pits for softs. And it's going to help Wally come back into the race. So, maybe that not panning out. Havina is not going to come into the pits. He's on mediums. So he's going to stretch those mediums to the end. And he's going to see if he can hold off Charlie, who's on mediums, and Felix, who's on softs. So range of tyres being applied. The favourite being the softs. A couple of drivers going into those medium tyres, maybe not having that set of softs available. Obviously Felix didn't have to do any runs. Charlie maybe did 3. I mean, we'll never know.
Yeah. But this is going to be a interesting race. I think Whale actually probably made a good call earlier going on for softs. He was definitely counting on a late safety car. And he got his wish.
I mean, yeah, Wally, who is going to join into the back of this. We've got only 11 people remaining though.
Yeah, true.
So, really, if you finish, you've got points apart from one person.
Yeah.
And a late penalty for any of these guys could mean the difference.
Between 1 point or 0 points, essentially.
Pretty much. But even, I'm thinking maybe towards these top guys, there's probably not enough time to gain a gap. It can mean maximum points to probably 0 points if everyone stays close enough, maybe. Maybe that's a bit of a stretch, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. We're just having to wait on the restart.
Yeah, so it's going to be another lap. I'm going to have about just over 5 laps to the end.
And Wolfie is coming to the pits.
Maybe didn't want to double stack, but he's going to drop to the back anyway.
And he's chucked on a set of softs.
Maybe just making sure those tyres can go to the end, giving that 1 lap freshness, whether it matters on the safety car or not.
Yeah, it's sort of at the point of the race where you sort of think to yourself, you know, do I come into the pits now under the safety car, or do I just stick out on the tyres I've got and just go to the end?
And the only person that has stayed out is Sabina, and he's currently leading.
Yeah, for now.
I mean, DRS won't be enabled until about lap 31, I would say. Yeah, 31. If the safety car is coming in this lap. And so from lap 31 to 35, or well, to the end of lap 31, because you're not going to get DRS on lap 31. So lap 32, 33, 34 and 35, that gives all the opportunities for Charlie to get past with DRS.
It does, well and truly. just who, anyone try and capitalise on it. It's like really close in behind Charlie and following through as well to take the win.
Yeah, so talking about the big guns of Pantera and Felix being up the front. Charlie is in P2, so he's making sure he can get everything out of this race. And maybe going on to those mediums could cost him though. But if he does get the win, I believe he has the fastest lap, and if not, he might get it. But connection being terrible again between Havina and Charlie, ghosting in between each other. It's going to see who has the fastest lap. It's Wally on the softs, but expect that to be broken within the coming laps. But if Charlie gets the win, that closes the gap to about just under 4 points. And Havina actually gets a 5-second penalty. So the netcode not helping him, and Charlie is well and truly in the lead. He's giving the position back though, so this is going to give Felix the win, the lead.
Yeah. I mean,
So netcode not helping whatsoever.
That fair sportsmanship to Charlie though, you know.
I mean,
pulling over. You know, obviously he thought it wasn't fair what happened, so
maybe he got an illegal overtake of his own though.
maybe he did.
Because he did pass Havina before that line.
True.
And by that point, Havina already got the penalty, so it means he really cemented his position. Whether he should have got that or not, Havina is gonna get rid of that 5-second penalty. But I don't think Charlie I mean, maybe. No, yeah, Charlie didn't need to give back that place. Because he would have gotten a penalty, but he would have gotten it removed himself, so.
Yeah.
He's really ruined his race here, and Freestyler is actually 2.5 seconds behind Felix, so a big gap at the front, and Primetime Raz found his way onto the podium.
Yeah.
So Havina, who has stayed out, is on very worn tyres compared to all these soft runners around him. And Charlie gets a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane and retires. So we're down to half the grid remaining.
Seeing a little bit of wheel-to-wheel contact between Jeppy and Wales in some places.
Yeah, these guys, and Whale going, oh no, that's Gallardo going straight up the inside. So Jeppy losing 2 positions to both Alfa Romeos.
Very risky move here by Gelato. Very risky.
Yeah, he made it move, and Jeppy's going up the inside into turn 8. Through turn 9, they're still side by side, and Magnum Gallardo loses the back end. Thankfully, keeps it out the barrier, but loses the position to Havina in the meantime as well. And we're going with 5 laps remaining. Is Felix going to get the fastest lap? This is what he needs. He needs maximum points. Because Pantera is not scoring any. Neither is Charlie and Kev. So everyone ahead of him is not scoring, and he sets a 16.3 for the fastest lap by quite a lot. And he's got the gap. So last to first, this will be if he can keep it on track. Starting P20, gaining the maximum amount of positions. Obviously through a bit of luck with Charlie and Pantera colliding. Charlie and Havina with the netcode.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, he has done a beautiful strategy, putting under both safety cars, making sure he doesn't lose the time that he probably could have. So brilliant reactions and brilliant driving from the Aston Martin German driver.
Yeah. And it's the one thing about these Division 1 drivers is, you know, they're able to think ahead of the Grand Prix, but also when stuff changes, you know, like an unexpected safety car, they're able to think on their feet and make quick second decisions on whether to change tyres now or stay out for an extra lap.
Yeah, and this racecraft in general, just to go through the entire field, whether half of them DNF'd or not, that is impressive feat on its own.
Yeah.
So yeah, on to lap 32 now. We're well and truly into the closing stages. but the battle is still not over for that podium position. Wally, who suffered from wing damage, seemed like he was out of it, continued on, and has found himself into P4 within DRS of Raz and within Freestyler, and actually ahead of him because of that penalty. So he can find himself on the podium after, what, 5 laps ago, seeming out of it.
Yeah, depending on if he can charge up enough of ZRS in the next lap or two.
Yeah, because the last overtaking opportunity really is lap 34, because it's not long enough down the pit straight on lap 35 for DRS, so he really needs it as soon as possible. But if he can just get past Primetime Raz, who's being held up behind Freestyler, that's going to be effective P2.
Yeah.
But he just needs to stay within DRS. He's kind of struggling to keep up. So this battle between Primetime Raz and Freestyler gonna go right to the end. Primetime Raz is only gonna make the move if he feels threatened from Molly. He actually goes wide. He's gonna leave himself vulnerable. Wally can't capitalize on that mistake, but Primetime Raz losing the back end quite a few times. 8 seconds is the gap to Felix ahead, so showing its pace on those soft compound tyres compared to the mediums of Freestyler. He's under no threat.
No, Felix has this race in the bag. You know, he's nearly 8 seconds ahead.
I mean, we shouldn't say in the bag.
Oh, true, yeah.
You know, he did lose it in Austria in the second to last lap, so anything can still happen.
Yeah, true.
But I think he'll learn from Austria and just make sure he doesn't push whatsoever.
He's far enough ahead where he can just let off a little bit and just cruise, essentially.
You know, 4 seconds a lap they need to gain if they want to overtake. But yes, this battle really unfolding. The last overtaking opportunity will be going on to the final lap, really, for these guys, unless another mistake is made. Will Primetime Raz lose it again through turn 4? Doesn't seem like he will. But Freestyle gets another 3-second penalty, so that means well and truly Primetime Raz and Wally are on the podium, but what positions will they be in? Is it P2 and P3? Is JP going to find his way onto the podium if an incident occurs? You never know.
I don't know, JP's got himself a penalty as well, so...
He's got 6 seconds, so...
Yeah.
He's got no chance on track, and... If I was him, I wouldn't really be trying to get involved in this battle. I'd know I'd be out of it. No point trying to affect anyone else. But Wally, is he going to be close enough to Primetime Raz? It doesn't look like it, but Primetime Raz, is he going to be prone to mistakes on this last lap of the Grand Prix? Here we go. Nux gets a 3-second penalty. He's well and truly out of contention, though. He's in P10 by 15 seconds to Maxi Rob there. Wally can't make the move on Primetime Raz. Primetime Raz trying to make the move on Freestyler, can't get it done. He doesn't exactly need to, he just needs to keep it clean and ahead of the Alfa Romeo. They'll keep it clean through turn 4 and through turn 5. They're all seeming to stay where they are. Now this is going to be the real test. Are those tyres gone through the last S section? 35 laps. It all comes down to this. Who's going to find themselves where? But switching to the front after an amazing drive from the Aston Martin, the German driver, for his second win of the race, of the season. It's Felix 1 in P1. Freestyler's going to come around on track for P2, but drops down to P4 after penalties. Primetime Raz takes P2. Wally takes a podium, and his teammate right behind him in P4. Freestyler and Jeppy P5 and P6. Arena's going to come around for P7. Iron Wolfie is going to drop down to P9 after penalties. Havina jumps into P8, and Nux is going to come around for the final position. A very exciting race there. A lot of DNFs, a lot of safety cars, and a lot of action for a Hungary race.
And again gives driver of the day Felix, and I mean, he deserves it.
I think everyone would give it to Felix, last to first.
Yeah, an incredible feat, especially in this division. Just the caliber of skill for these drivers.
Yeah, so once this podium has finished, can you take us through the order as I try to get our top 3 into the party for an interview?
Sure. So the winner of our race, we have Felix. In P2 we have Primetime Raz. P3 we have Wally. P4 we have Gelato. P5 we have Freestyler. P6 we have Jaliki. P7 we have Maxi Rob. P8 we have Havina. P9 we have Wolf. P10 we have Nuts. P11 Charlie. 12 Cool Guy. 13 Pantera. 14th Compudi. 15th Adam Kev. 16th Bert, 17th Apple, 18th Isaac, 19th Big Boy, and
yeah, just in time as well there. So I was trying to get these guys for an interview. Our top 3 of Felix, Primetime Raz, and Wally. All outstanding drives from all of them, especially our first place driver. So we have Primetime Raz, P2. Can you hear us, mate? You seem very happy with that.
Yeah, I am. I mean, a podium in this division, that's crazy. Really happy with that.
Yeah, it was a beautiful drive from you, obviously getting gifted the P2 due to penalties, but nonetheless, an amazing race. How are you feeling? Like, take us through your race.
Well, I'm feeling pretty good. I mean, the first lap was a bit... I was pretty afraid because first lap I almost got taken out by like these 2 guys dive bombing, but I managed to get through that cleanly. And then after that, I got a drive-through penalty in the virtual safety car. Then from there, I was like, okay, now I gotta keep my head down and reset, and just keep it on track. Then at the final safety car, I saw, I don't know who was leading. Was that Hervina? I don't know what happened there, but it slowed down, and I saw an opportunity and took it.
Yeah, so obviously maximizing every place you can. That's beautiful racecraft from you. Your first podium in Division 1, so great job to you and best of luck for the second half of the season.
Thank you.
Next up we have Whale coming in for P3. How are you feeling, mate? Yeah, we were commenting on that. You were, well, with 10 laps to go, you seemed out of the points, and now you've made your way into P3. It's beautiful. Just take us through your race, really, as well. Yeah, so did you go into that first set of soft because of front wing damage? Yeah, because we saw you go into it, but there was nothing really visual. But nonetheless, a very good podium, very good drive for the comeback there. And best of luck to the next half of the season. But here we have the men of the hour, last to first, in a league race. It's Felix. How you doing, mate? Yeah, again, a beautiful drive, and I'm absolutely blown away about how you pulled that off. Obviously, a bit of luck on your side with the DNF of Pantera and what happened on that safety car restart. Just take us through what really happened on that restart. Yeah, the Havina and Charlie. Yeah. Yeah, it was about 9-10 seconds in the end, and from 5 laps to the end. That was brilliant, mate. Well done. Obviously, this means you do close down the gap at the top. You are now P2 in the standings. Maybe not as best as you wanted. Probably want that P1, but are you gonna feel confident going to the second half of the season, trying to catch down Pantera? Yeah, so, and then going back to Britain, we never got that interview. Both you and Pantera not scoring points for that race as well, mainly because he took you out. Do you know what exactly happened there? Yeah, so very well done to you for that win. A brilliant drive, and probably going to be thinking about that for the off week. Good luck for the last half of the season. So that does conclude the first half of Tier 1. So thank you to everyone who's joined us through these first 8 races, and make sure you join us back in 2 weeks' time for the second half. Yeah. So thank you to everyone. Take care and have a good week.